announcements. Lucy, since you're closest to the steps, would you mind going first? And Lucy told me this is probably her last time giving an announcement at Convo. So welcome, Lucy, to the city.
I'm sure everybody's excited about that. If I had to see my face over here every single Monday, I'd be sick of it too. But it is the best week of the year at Bethel College because it is Pride Week. We have a lot of super fun stuff going on. Tonight is the first night we're kicking it off with a movie night here in Cradle Auditorium. If you have questions about what movie we're watching, feel free to reach out to me. We will have popcorn and I believe Capri Suns, so that should be fun and delightful. And then tomorrow we will be in the Rack Atrium from 3 to 5. And we will have crafts, so we'll have friendship bracelet supplies in case you didn't get to make a friendship bracelet on Friday. And then we will also have sun catchers that you can paint to put in your window. And then Wednesday we'll be outside of the CAF doing everyone's favorite thing, which is giving you free stuff with no strings attached. You're welcome. And we have a ton of really cool stuff for that. There's like slime and slinkies and like keychains. I think we're also going to have some really cool PAC t-shirts. So if you haven't gotten a PAC t-shirt, staff, faculty, students, anyone can come by and get a t-shirt as supplies last. And then Thursday, we will be tie-dyeing in Centennial Plaza. We will have white Bethel Pride t-shirts, and you can tie-dye those. And those are also as supplies last. We have run out of sizes before, so it's first come, first serve. And then Friday is my favorite event that we do, and it's our drag show. It is also worth Convocation credit. So if you are one of those people who still needs a lot of Convo credits, come to the drag show because it's really fun. And we also will have at the drag show a limited edition, one only, PAC hoodie that we'll be giving away during the show, and then a couple other fun giveaways going on. So we hope to see you there, and we hope you have a really good Pride Week. Thank you.
Good morning. So my name is Grant Hawes, as I'm pretty sure all of you know, I feel like I know everybody. And I'm a senior psychology major here at Bethel and the student fellow for the Office of Culture and Belonging. As some of you may know, a listening tour is underway for the Office of Culture and Belonging across Bethel College campus, and we visited multiple student organizations. So with that said, we're hoping to engage with student athletes more and gather a good representation from every team in that process. So if you'll be referred to the slide, as we understand some athletes might not be involved in the contemporary clubs, we're asking for your participation at a luncheon event this Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. in Mance Library Lounge, where we'll be able to meet with student athletes over Chick-fil-A sandwiches to hear about how the office might best serve them. We'd love to have more than one member representing each team, and the SGA will be facilitating the meetings along with myself. So if you have any further questions, please contact Cheryl Wilson, the Vice President of Culture and Belonging, and please register using the QR code on the slide up there. So I'll give about 10 seconds for people that are interested to do that, and then I'll need the barbecue and belonging slide. So, yeah. Cool. The other announcement that I have is more so an invitation. On behalf of the Office of Culture and Belonging, we're asking you all to please join us this upcoming Friday, which is May 2nd, for this special event, which is Barbecue and Belonging. Students who register will have a catered barbecue lunch and participate in circles of belonging, where we'll be engaging in conversations that just meet the moment in general. This event is sponsored by BC Office of Culture and Belonging, and we'll meet in the Mance Library Lounge for lunch at 11 a.m. this Friday, which is May 2nd, as previously stated. After eating, we'll all dispatch to our locations to participate in circles. So once again, please register by using the QR code on the flyer. And again, if you have any questions, please contact Cheryl Wilson for further information. So, thank you all.
Convocation, where we get to recognize those students among us who have contributed to Bethel in significant ways. The Leadership Awards are organized through the Office of Student Life, and for that, I invite Janella Branch to the stage.
Good morning. Welcome to the third annual Threshold Leadership Awards. This event was created to acknowledge all the outstanding things you all do outside of the classroom, off the field, the stage, and other scholarship-based obligations you may have. Here to introduce our guest speaker is Taryn Paulino, your 2025-2026 SGA President Elect.
Good morning, everyone. Today I have the pleasure of introducing Lindsay Young. Lindsay Young is a 2007 graduate of Bethel, starting her career as a high school teacher and working 10 years in the classroom, teaching students everything from public speaking to journalism. Now, along with her husband Joey, Lindsay is a majority owner of Kansas Publishing Ventures, which oversees the publication of 3 weekly newspapers, including Harvey County Now, the Clarion, and the Hillsborough Free Press in South Central Kansas. They are known around the country as innovators in the newspaper field, being asked to speak at several conventions and even being featured in the university study about new revenue streams. She has also been using her teaching knowledge to create Earn Your Press Pass, which is being implemented as an on-demand training software for new reporters with no past journalism experience in over 20 states. So, without further ado, Lindsay Young.
So I just finished my morning psychology class with Paul Lewis in 2006 and was walking up the stairs of the science hall. And as I was wont to do, I had every single textbook I owned in my bag because if I had to walk back to the mods one more time, I was going to die. And so I had a backpack full of books and I had my hands in my pockets in this particular sweatshirt, which I still hold a grudge against. But of course I had to wear it because it was my MDS shirt and I'm a Mennonite and I have to make sure everybody remembers that. So as I was walking up the stairs, my foot managed to catch the front of one of the steps there and I fell completely on my face on the steps because if you're wearing a sweatshirt like this and your hands are in your pockets, when you try to catch yourself, you just look like a T-Rex trying to get off of a staircase. So now I'm laying on the staircase in the science building while everybody's trying to get around me, and I'm trying to pull my hands out of my pockets, but the problem is that my extremely heavy backpack is now laying on this arm because I'm on my side, and my watch is caught exactly perfectly on the edge of the pocket. So now not only am I laying on the stairs in the science hall, I'm also thrashing back and forth like a beached whale, trying to get up off of the stairs. And it's that moment that you realize that your friends aren't really your friends when you're laying on a staircase at 10 a.m. trying desperately to get up and they're just standing over you laughing. But that's one of my main memories of going to that class with Paul Lewis. So unfortunately for Paul, he probably didn't cement in me a lot of psychology knowledge, but I did learn that there was a reason I was on the speech and debate team and not here on the athletic scholarship. So for me at Bethel, Bethel was a great experience for me, and it was something that I never expected that I would end up at. In 2002, I was graduating from Haven High School, and I remember applying for every single scholarship I could get my hands on. You're writing every single essay, and every essay they want you to write about why you were a grade leader. And so I remember writing all of these essays, and I would talk about being on the student council, and if you guys, I always sign autographs, but yeah, it is my fault that the dress code got changed where you can have frayed shorts at Haven High School in 2002. I'm kind of a big deal. So I would write about all of these amazing accomplishments I had in my leadership in high school when I would write all of these. And it wasn't until I found myself sitting in my college orientation class, I started out at Hutchinson Community College, and they made us do a personality test. And I suddenly realized I was an introvert. Because I didn't know that, because I'd gone to school with the same kids from kindergarten until I graduated, and suddenly I was out in the world and had no idea that I actually didn't know how to make friends very well. I didn't like talking to new people, and the only time I actually liked speaking was if I had a microphone in front of me and not if I actually had to meet one-on-one with somebody. So most people are up on a stage and they start screaming internally. I'm just doing that if you just come up and shake my hand. So feel free to come up afterwards and chat with me. Just know that I'm freaking out on the inside. So when I came to Bethel, it was even scarier for me because I don't know, are there any other fellow transfers in the audience? Just a few of us. Yep, that's about how many were here when I was one too. And so you walk into this community that has already been formulated and you have to find your place, which is terrifying. And that's something that all of us are going to face as we walk across the stage and we graduate from Bethel and we go out into the real, quote, real world. I hate it when people say stuff like that, like you're in a fake world right now. But we go out into the world and we have to now all of a sudden be on our own. We don't have all those threshers standing around us, or we don't have all those people that we just spent the last 4 years hanging out with. And we have to find our own way. So for me, that started out as being a teacher at Andale High School. Andale High School, if you're not familiar with Andale, is a football powerhouse, and I was hired to be the theater teacher. Great start. I also got to be a freshman English teacher, which I was not real pumped about, but I did discover that it's real fun to tell 14-year-olds all the dirty jokes that are in Romeo and Juliet, because they don't think that's what that is all about. But in my teaching career, I realized really quickly that my leadership didn't have to always be just being in front of people. There was also that quiet leadership that exists. And so as I continued through my career, I was there for 4 years and then got hired at my alma mater and got to teach there for 5 more and 5.5 more. I got hired as a part-time substitute for my own position right after I quit, which I guess is a good sign that they didn't totally hate me by the time I got there. But the weirdest part of my career wasn't just hanging out in the classroom with a bunch of teenagers. It was in 2012, on June 1st, 2012, that my husband Joey and I decided that we were going to buy a community newspaper, which seemed like a really good idea at the time. I'd say it is now, but if past me could talk to future me, I don't know how much I would encourage her to do it again because it was terrifying. Suddenly, instead of me just having a classroom of 15 to 30 children sitting in front of me that I was talking to, anytime I wrote something that went into that newspaper was going to over 1,000 people around the community. Anytime that I sat at the back of the room for a council meeting, it was my job to tell people what they talked about, how much they were going to increase their taxes, were they going to actually fix that bridge, were they finally going to let people have chickens in their backyards, like the important stuff. And so being part of that newspaper really helped me understand just how important being a part of a community is, whether you're really out in front of it making the changes, or whether you're even just the people in the back of the room continuing to try to tell the story of what your community is really all about. So this wasn't enough for us in 2012 when we bought the Clarion, and so about two years later, we ended up meeting a gentleman in Hillsborough who owned the Hillsborough Free Press. And he said, guys, I want you guys to buy me out of my newspaper. And we were like, that would be awesome. We have no money. And he was like, that's cool, we'll make it work. Don't trust old men that tell you that they'll make it work, even if you have no money. Because I'll tell you, sweat equity is a lot harder than just writing a check. But suddenly we went from having this tiny paper of about 1,500 circulation to having a newspaper that delivered to literally every household in the entire county of Marion. So now we have this huge newspaper that we're working on, and I'm still in the classroom, and Joey's trying to do the newspaper thing. We actually have employees now, which is terrifying. The first time I did payroll, I tried to figure the taxes by looking at a chart from the state of Kansas. I was not a math major, and even if I were, I still don't think I could have figured it out. So if you've never cried while writing a payroll check, that's an interesting experience too. But we got through it, and we kept growing, and suddenly we realized that we had this amazing opportunity down the road, and that was here in Newton and North Newton, where there was a newspaper that had been purchased by this big corporate overlord that was just milking it for all the profits it could and not really being a good steward of this community. And so, as Joey likes to say, through a combination of youth and ignorance, we thought, how hard can we just start a new newspaper? Let's do that. So in 2015, we launched Newton Now, which is currently now Harvey County Now, and we embarked on this adventure to start a newspaper in Newton and North Newton. And North Newton, by the way, was one of the first communities that truly embraced us. That there were people that were writing us checks for a year's subscription, and we hadn't put out a single issue yet. This is a lot of trust to put into 20-somethings that are just kind of showing up and are like, hey, guess what? We're going to give you a newspaper. We're getting ready to celebrate our 10th anniversary with that newspaper this year, which is insane. Thank you. A couple of years ago, Joey and I were at a conference, and there was a guy from the Knight Foundation. He wanted to chat with us, and so he's talking to us. And then he found out that we started our newspaper 10 years ago, and he was like, oh, you're legacy media. And that's the most insulting thing you can say to a startup in the entire world. But it was also kind of complimentary. So in 2016, there was no world where I could keep teaching and doing the newspaper stuff at the same time. And so I finally made the leap of faith to where Joey and I both were going to depend on our company to be able to support our household, which is really scary, you know, and that's saying something because before that we were depending on the school district to support our household with my teaching salary. But it has been one of the most satisfying and wonderful things. And we talk about, you know, I'm supposed to talk to you guys about my leadership. My roles at the newspaper throughout the years have really been behind the scenes. I've been the business manager. I've been the one working on QuickBooks. Don't believe them, it's not quick. I've been the one that has tried to figure out how to do billing, how to figure out our circulation, how to maintain a lot of the back end stuff. If people advertise with us, I've got to make sure the bill gets to them so we actually get paid. When a little old lady calls and she can't figure out how to watch our weekly YouTube podcast, Beer Friday, and that's happened. I don't know how to see Beer Friday, can you help me? And I help them out. That's my job. The copy editing is my job. If you see a comma error in Harvey County Now, it is my fault. Please don't write me any emails. Beyond the bookkeeper, I'm the copy editor, and the event planner. I am the controller of mayhem in that office. Because if you've never hung around journalists in your life, they're insane and the best people. Because they have such a curiosity to try to figure out what's going on in the world and then tell people about it. The last 2 years have changed a little bit. We kind of stumbled into being now suddenly speakers around the country at different press associations. We were in Nebraska this past weekend speaking at the Nebraska Press Association. We were in Wyoming in January because that's when we want to have a conference in Wyoming. And we got to speak to those folks. We've been to Kentucky. I've been all the way out to Keene, New Hampshire to get to talk about what we do right here in Newton, Kansas, which is insane. And part of that is because we saw a need and we decided to fill it. One of the problems that we have in our industry is that it is really hard to get college-educated people to want to go move out in the middle of nowhere to a tiny weekly newspaper and be their reporter. Which I know you guys are like, what? I want to go out and live in Dodge City and smell cows and write about council meetings. Of course I do. Let me know, we can talk about it afterwards. But we discovered that this was such a problem that we decided to create a course. It's an online training course that allows people who have absolutely no experience in journalism to be able to be trained up to go write for their community newspaper and be ethical, non-biased, good community journalists as a part of it. And it started out as something that we really just wanted to do for the state of Kansas, but is now in over 20 states around the country. We even have a subscriber in Alaska. We have subscribers in Texas. The other day, Joey and I were on a Zoom call with a gentleman who was from the Democratic Republic of Congo because he wants to see if we can try to translate Earn Your Press Pass into French and maybe teach some of his people in Congo how to be journalists around the country. So it's been incredibly humbling and crazy to see just how much people need that training out there. So one of the things that the Kansas Leadership Center teaches, and they're a fabulous organization if you're not familiar with them, they're headquartered out of Wichita. They say this about leadership. They say leadership is an activity, not a position. Anyone can exercise leadership, and when everyone does, organizations make progress on the toughest challenges. And I think that that was where I was missing the mark all those years ago when I was trying to write all those essays about, you know, my accomplishments on the Haven High School Student Council. And that is that we tend to often think of leadership as who's sitting, you know, in the suit and tie at the best desk in the best office and in the entire company, and that's not what leadership really is. Leadership can happen in so many quiet ways, and I think that's the thing that we forget. And you guys are the generation that understands it. You know, I grew up, I'm an elder millennial, and so everything, if you're wondering why the country sucks and everything's bad, it's our fault. That's what I've been told about 50 times. And you guys, it's not your fault, so sorry, Gen Z. You guys are also at fault. We can commiserate together about how we all ruined this whole world because we only want to use our phones and none of us want to use laundry softener or whatever. I don't know, all the things that we don't do anymore. I saw an article where millennials ruined the paper napkin industry because we use paper towels. Jerks. But Gen Z is, you guys are so amazing. There was a recent Forbes article that came out earlier this month, and it talks about the fact that 86% of Gen Zers, they see purpose as pivotal to their overall well-being and job satisfaction. You guys tend to look at what the societal impact of a job is before you take it. You're not there for the salary, although you can be, it's okay. Make some money. But most of us, most of your generation, it has been empowered to be able to decide what job you want to do because those are things that are important to you, because you're going to make a difference in the world. And I think that is so amazing, and I love that. And I want all of you to maintain that even after you've got that diploma that is the most expensive piece of paper you will ever own in your entire life, and mine's in a box somewhere. But remember that this is leadership's an activity. It doesn't really matter if you have a business card or even if you do what the job title is on it. The point is that you get out there and try to make a change wherever you are. So for me, as a teacher and as a publisher, I've found that a lot of the changes that I've been able to make in the world have been invisible. That a lot of people don't even know I was a part of some of those things that have been made a huge difference. And so I always try to remember that leadership can be super loud, but it can be quiet too. So as Joey and I have traveled all over the country, and we talked to all of these different press associations, and we talked to a lot of people, one of the benefits we get is that we get to hear a lot of motivational speakers. A couple weeks ago, it was a guy laying on the floor of the stage during his speech to be able to show us how he gets up in the morning, and then he made us all stand up and yell to each other, "You are amazing." I'm not going to make you guys do that. Ever. I would never do that to you. But I found that most of these people, they talk about their athletic prowess. This last week we got to watch a guy that could barely fit in his suit because his muscles were so large talk about mentorship and being this amazing football star throughout his career. We heard them talk about perseverance and jumping over the next hurdle and finishing the race even if you're not in first place. And I guess my message for you guys is sometimes leadership is just as simple as just pulling your hands out of your pockets, shoving that backpack off of your arm, and just getting back up. Your ego and your shins, let's face it, are going to be a little bruised. You're never going to hear the end of it. Many, many years later, your friends might still bring it up every time you get together. But remember that your power lies in your ability and your willingness to just put one foot in front of the other, and that you're bringing other people along with you. Your leadership may not be loud. Your leadership may not be something that is going to go on posters and is going to be on CNN or on Fox News or wherever throughout your lifetime, but you can still make those difference. Remember that leadership is a group effort, and as a fellow fresher, I am so proud that you're going to be joining me on this journey to change the world. Thank you.
Presenting the Social Justice Award. The Bethel College Community for Justice and Peace has maintained a clear vision and steady steps moving towards their vision from the beginning of the year. They've offered students a chance to advocate for needed change around the campus and community. This year, their goals and mission have led them towards community organizing against police patrols while developing and proposing alternative solutions for better means of achieving campus safety and better aligning safety approaches and measures with Bethel College's mission, vision, and values within a nonviolent peace tradition. This has included engaging with SGA, the Office of Culture and Belonging, students, alumni, and community members, the Board of Directors and Administration, and the North Newton Police Department to create a community conversation in the fall and a week of action this spring, educating the student body and developing a coalition of organizations in favor of this movement.
While much of their work this year has been focused on community organizing, they've also been active in events for the student body and collaborating with other clubs like DIVCO for programming, including the 9/11 event, movie night, open mic night, and organizing a chapel service. Additionally, members of BC CJP demonstrated excellent leadership in fundraising and organizing for a group of students to attend the Intercollegiate Peace Fellowship at EMU. The ICPF conference allows students to engage and network with students from schools around the country regarding issues of peace building and social justice, with a theme of building solidarity from Turtle Island to Palestine. The club has been under dedicated leadership by co-presidents Josue Koidik and Abby Chapel-Decker.
BCCJP has demonstrated unwavering commitment to peace and justice by speaking up for students and advocating for peace, and we're grateful for their leadership and social justice advocacy on campus. Congratulations, members of BCCJP, and if you'd like to come up to get your award.
This student stepped into leadership last year as a junior, taking on a major role. He has been described as a constant friend and community builder, connecting people across many different activities, and as a member of our football team. As an SAC leader, he brings energy and excitement to campus and has been a fantastic person to work alongside. The 2025 Established Leadership Award and Bridge Builder Award goes to Ben Rudin.
Exemplifies service to their peers, demonstrates the ability to confront peers and deal with emergency situations and crises, and as well as document violations of student conduct, and builds a thriving hall community. One of the many things I've appreciated about this year's CA of the Year is that he frequently took me up on my offer I make every year to call me at any time, any place. I've never had a CA take me up on this so often, and my small word has been broken many times. But I'm thankful that he did so, because again, I'm going to support my CA, and he's done a wonderful job this year. I'm honored to present this year's CA of the Year Award to Trey August. I'm also excited to say that he's returning next year, and he will actually be returning in Howard. Campus pastor, of course, left at the end of the fall semester, so I'm giving this in his place. So this is written by our former campus pastor, Michael Hunter. So work with this student for only a semester, it was clear even in a short time that she was already becoming a strong leader within the Bethel community, both through her student chaplain role and beyond. She consistently demonstrated a willingness to try new ideas and share her perspective thoughtfully without being forceful. She listens carefully, considers the views of others, and uses those interactions to guide her decisions. Like the other three on the student chaplain team, when she joined in the fall, she likely did not expect to take on quite so many additional leadership responsibilities this spring. However, she has handled these challenges with determination and grace, something that was clearly evident in the comments from those who nominated her for this award. I am confident that she will continue to grow as a leader and make a lasting impact at Bethel College. I look forward to seeing all that she accomplishes in the future. The 2025 Emerging Leader Award goes to Emma Braver.
Good morning. It is my privilege to present the Commitment to Service Award today. This award is going to an individual who is very dedicated and driven. She always listens to her fellow students and faculty when they come to her with concerns, and she is immediately trying to help them however she can. This individual is a great person to work with and to have on your team. This year's Commitment to Service Award goes to Taryn Polino.
This new student organization has made an impressive impact in a short amount of time. They have already traveled to events and earned recognition beyond our campus. Their passion, commitment, and drive have made them a standout group among our student organizations. The 2025 Most Promising New Student Organization Award goes to the Software Society.
The Student Supporter of the Year Award is an opportunity to highlight any member of the Bethel College community who has shown exemplary support to students and/or student organizations throughout the year. It is my honor to present this award to a faculty member who has demonstrated deep commitment to not only being someone who students can come to about lecture material, but someone they can talk to when they've just had a bad day. Not only do they notice when students are down and help pick them up, but they're also the first to cheer them on when they find success. From giving advice on how to apply to big programs and encouraging students to reach high, they ensure there is never a doubt in their students' minds that they are believed in and supported no matter what. I can personally say I would not be the student or person that I am today without this person, and he has also listened to way too many of my rants to not get recognition. So I'm super proud to give this award to Will We Be Freezing.
Okay, hi guys. I'm always excited to be able to present the Ambassador of the Year, Student Ambassador of the Year award, and I want to make her stand up here while I talk about her, so yeah. Sadie Jensen is our Student Ambassador of the Year, so I'll share up here. I want to make sure you guys know who I'm talking about when I describe her. So this award is truly really high praise from the admissions team. And Ambassador is essentially the official student representative of Bethel College for prospective students and their families from across the United States. This award represents hours of intentional engagement with strangers and hundreds of thousands of steps all across campus. A majority of them are taken backwards. Bethel attracts a variety of individuals from very different walks of life. Ambassadors are prepared for anything. They answer hard and sometimes weird questions. They carry the entire conversation when our visitors are shy or a little bit awkward. They entertain our guests from within the belly of the beast, Towery Hall. They de-escalate encounters with towel-clad freshmen, a shouting match over laundry, maybe a rather potent or unpleasant smell wafting through the halls. This elite ambassador shows grace with a little bit of comedy in really sticky situations. Sadie has answered countless emails and incessant texts from me, some of them at a moment's notice. I have a couple of handfuls of really great ambassadors that we rely on. So you ask, how do we choose a standout? I look at it from several different angles. Reliability is key in this position, and Sadie shows up and communicates. A pleasing demeanor is really important. Sadie's confident, and she exudes a calm and welcoming presence to our visitors. Finally, it's really difficult to teach or train someone to be personable. Sadie puts visitors at ease with a genuine and straightforward nature. She articulates her Bethel story well. Students choose Bethel, and some of it is due to their interaction with Ms. Jensen. So it's an honor to recognize her and her efforts, and I'm really stoked to have you another year. There you go.
I'm here to present the Outstanding Student Organization Program of the Year and Student Organization Collaboration Awards. The group receiving these awards has created spaces where students feel welcome, supported, and inspired to get involved around campus. Their events have encouraged connection across campus, building bridges between organizations and sparking important conversations about diversity and belonging. Even when attendance has been low, they have continued with positive energy and purpose, and their collaborations with other student groups and departments have elevated the overall student experience. For all of this and more, I'm proud to present the Outstanding Student Organization Program of the Year and Student Organization Collaboration Awards to the Diversity Council.
I'm presenting the Outstanding Student Organization Advisor Award. This advisor has worked long hours with us this semester as we've been very active as BCCJP doing all sorts of things, and I've admired his dedication to the group, his willingness to confront us when we're doing something we maybe will regret later, and his willingness to also step outside his comfort zone and work with us when we're maybe pushing some boundaries. So this award goes to Damon Clausen.
Afternoon. The first award is the Set the Example and Be the Example Award. This award was created last year to recognize those students who were not only the first to get something done at Bethel College, but also for those who were the first to take initiative to stand up and get engaged. The student who will be recognized this morning is one that I have watched grow with a determination to become a success and make their family proud. When I started building a program around first-generation students, she was one of the first individuals to contact me and ask, how can I get involved? And that she did. She engaged with other first-generation students to get them involved. She became front and center to speak to those first-generation students during Thresher Days and didn't
didn't hesitate to get involved with the Ad Astra conference that was designed for first-generation students. I am looking forward to this student becoming a successful attorney and telling her story as a first-generation college student. Please help me congratulate Delaney Mays as the recipient of the Set the Example, Be the Example Award. She's not here, but that's okay. It's okay. We will be nice. Oh, thanks, Simone. The next award is the Seth Dunn Memorial Award. And please bear with me as I read this one. The Seth Dunn Memorial Award is given in memory of Seth Dunn, a senior Bethel College student from Fresno, California, who died on August 1st, 2011, as a result of an accident while on vacation with his family. He was 20 years old. Seth was a well-known and beloved student on the Bethel campus, actively involved in several stage productions, working with IMS, co-hosting a popular weekly radio show on KBCU-FM, starting a coffee shop on campus, and making a difference in the lives of his family and friends through his kindness, irreverent wits, and infectious laughter. Seth had a great joyful life and loved music, taco trucks, snowboarding, bicycling, hiking, fishing, and camping. His faith in Christ was genuine and foundational for all he did. Seth was encouraging and inclusive of others, always letting people know how important they were, becoming a best friend to many. His family and friends are grateful for his time at Bethel and congratulate this year's recipient. The Dunn family has directed that the award be given to a junior student who has made the most significant overall contribution to Bethel College community life, with primary consideration given to a student who identifies areas of needed change on campus, challenges others, and takes action that makes a difference in accordance with the stated ideas and values of Bethel community. The recipient is chosen by a committee consisting of the Vice President for Student Life, a faculty member for Communication Arts, a member of the IMS, and our campus pastor. This year's persons who made the decision was Damon Carlson, Leroy Wilson, Rosa Barrera, and yours truly. We have identified Karen Polino as this year's Seth Dunn Memorial Award recipient. I want to read a little bit about Karen and why she was chosen. There are several public-facing ways Karen has engaged with and influenced the Bethel community. One is her involvement with Bethel College as the SGA Vice President and the newly elected President for 25-26 and as a student chaplain. Taryn Polino is very driven and listens to the students and faculty when they come to her with concerns, and she immediately tries to help them in some way. In addition to her many roles on campus, she's also a member of the cross-country track team, keeps a very busy class schedule, and always seems to have time for each person in her life. Taryn has worked hard to help any student she can at Bethel, whether that be a listening ear or taking action to complete a goal. She has big dreams to make Bethel a better home for our students and an overall better place for the community. Taryn Polino is very driven and listens to what our students say, that anything that comes her way with their concerns, and immediately tries to help in some way. With that being said, she's been an advocate to hear her peers' voice as it related to employment experience, campus policing, and our campus pastor position. Taryn is not afraid to take a seat at the table and speak on behalf of her student body. There's undoubtedly more that could be shared about her, but this gives a glimpse into Taryn's way of being, which will continue to shape the Bethel community for the better. Taryn, we thank you for your contribution to the Bethel College community life. On behalf of the Don family, of the Dunn Self family, we are pleased to present you with the Self Dunn Memorial Award, which includes a letter from the Dunn family, an article about Self, a copy of the citation, Larry Dunn's collection of poetry, a beanie, and a cup of tea, and a cash gift, which you will receive on your next pay, of $1,000. Congratulations, Tanner. In closing, and she's walking away, but she's gonna come back. Jamila, please come back. You know she's shy. Yes, she is shy. But I wanted her to come out, and I wanted to just take the opportunity to say thank you to Jamila. Jamila does a lot of work behind the scenes for student life, student activities, and student engagement. And even though this is her last leadership award, we want to take the time to say thank you. We want to applaud her for all the hard work that she's done here at Bethel College, and we want to wish her well and much success on her continued journey.
I've enjoyed working here. For all of the students that I've worked with personally, I wish you the best of luck in everything that you have to do. And all the students I haven't got an opportunity to work with, y'all are all great. Y'all balance a lot, y'all do a lot, keep going, keep moving, and have a great day.
Well, thank you. Congratulations again to the award recipients. Convo scanners, if you would come to the front, and we'll dismiss once they're here. Thank you all.